Welcome to the Terry Fox Athletic Facility, site of the 2018 Godzilla Ultimate Championships. It's a big day for OCUA, the Ottawa Carleton Ultimate Association. It's the Tuesday champion versus the Thursday champion, InstaJack, going up against the Truth Bombs. Hi, everybody. Dan Mooney alongside Glenn Ford for this one. And, Glenn, I'm not as familiar with this league as you are. Is there a distinctive favorite for this game?
I don't know. You know what? The two leagues are very independent and very different from each other, but looking at the rosters, we've basically got Truth Bombs from the old school, and we've got the new school InstaJack. It's the easiest way to sum it up.
InstaJack are the Tuesday champions. The Truth Bombs are the Thursday champions. Just waiting for the opening pull, and it's going to be the InstaJack in Burgundy, led by number 18, Lance Blackstock, and a former member of the Ottawa Outlaws professional ultimate team. And he is getting set for the opening pull in this Tuesday-Thursday championship for the 2018 Godzilla Trophy. Blackstock's opening pull.
Not a good one.
Not a good one. That'll go out. And the Truth Bombs in lime green with white numbers. That one should be fun for us in the booth.
They could have picked a better color.
They will start from the brick, which is 20 yards out. 70-yard field in length with 20-yard end zones in Ultimate. And we are underway as the Truth Bombs start down the pitch. It's number 37, Nick Dust with it. He's forced back. Emma Stodel moves that back for Aaron Byrne. Byrne into the middle, and there's a drop and a turnover immediately. Natalie Lapointe just unable to hang on.
Nice flyby D by Carrie-Ann White there, and another quick turnover.
And you see where Blackstock was on offense but turned into a defensive player to knock that disc away, and now great field position for the Truth Bombs.
Doesn't really matter whether or not Lance D'd that, even if it was caught by the opposition. They can't run with it, so a turnover is a turnover. Whether or not he played D, I think he went to grab it and just got D'd in front of him. Seth Cezant with it now, old school handler, up to Aaron Byrne.
Here's Byrne looking into the end zone, into the corner, and it's a goal. The opening goal of this night, scored by numbers 37, Nick Dust. And we're on the board, and the Truth Bombs, they're the new school or the old school?
Truth Bombs are the old school.
And old school just schooled new school. We'll play this game to 15. Now, there are specific rules, hard cap and soft cap, within the ultimate sport. We're going to play till 8 or 50 minutes for the opening half. First team to 8, then they'll take a 10-minute break.
That is correct. A lot of these teams will be their first time playing with observers, which are the people in orange, and they'll be keeping time limits on the time between points and the timeouts. And when you're not used to playing with them, it's a bit of a learning curve as to how fast the time goes when you're waiting to start the next point.
So Aaron Byrne with the assist on Nick Dust's opening goal gives the Truth Bombs, the Thursday champions, a 1-0 lead very early in this 2018 Godzilla Championship for Tuesday, Thursday. Here's the pull by Brent Cornwallier all the way down. That goes out of bounds, and the InstaJack will start from the brick at the 20-yard line.
That first point was a good hold for Truth Bombs. I think the last thing that they want to do is get behind and give up a break to a young, fast team like InstaJack, so that was a big hold for them.
Now, at the professional level, there's offensive and defensive units. Is it the same at the recreational level as well, Glenn?
It's going to depend on who shows up in your lineup. As a general rule of thumb, you're probably going to have to play both of them anyways.
Loose disc there, and almost a point for InstaJack, and they're turned away. Sorry.
You will have people that are better or more comfortable on defense, and if you have enough people on your roster to be able to play that way, it's definitely a bonus.
Little flip out. Here's Cornwallier. Moves that up for Keith Bourdon. Bourdon forced inside for Heather Kelly. Kelly for Cornwallier. Cornwallier flips that out for Emma Stodel. Stodel goes up the right side. Cornwallier getting close to the 7-second stall count. 10 seconds at this level, 7 at the pro level.
That is correct.
And another turnover here as Instajack looks to get back on even terms.
Interesting bit of strategy here. Truth bombs are forcing Instajack backhand. Traditionally, that you most people force them forehand, but they're trying to go backhand, see if it makes a difference.
In for the point, it's Chris Kudakevich, otherwise known as KK, getting on the board for Instajack.
See, the force was broken there, back to the middle, and then when the defense can't adjust, all the other defensive players are on the wrong side of their marks. Easy open throw to the break side.
Chris Castonguay in there on the play as well. So he'll draw an assist on the goal by Chris Kudakevich. Wanted to make sure that I got that name right because I'm certain his mom and dad are watching.
There's a lot of K's and W's and Z's in that name. It's, yeah.
Lance Blackstock trying to shield his eyes from the setting sun directly in his face. And how much of a factor is that going to play in this one early?
Early, it very well might. When it's going to be in the offense's problem this time because when they're looking back towards the disc, they're going to be looking into the sun, but it's still pretty high right now. So unless the disc is up in the air and floating, they should be all right keeping it under. As long as they keep the disc low, they'll be okay.
Good shot of what Lance Blackstock was looking at, and his pull once again goes into touch. So the Truth Bombs will start again from the brick. Their third possession of this 2018 Godzilla Championship. Couple of turnovers for each side so far. So offense is running well, but defense is playing well as a result.
That is right. Both teams are getting some turns, but both teams are doing well, holding what's going on. And we've got a call on the field right now. Somebody's down.
Somebody's down as Jen Stickley had that one, the disc go right through her hands. And that's number 33, Aaron Byrne. And he's normally a really good handler for Truth Bombs. And now he's got to go off.
I have a feeling he probably slipped on the grass. The grass is very thick out there, but I think he'll be okay.
There it is. There's a slip right there.
Yep. Ground is soft and the grass is thick, so that will happen. People are slipping, but he'll be back. That's not going to be a serious injury for him.
Blackstock looking into the end zone and nobody home, intending that pass for David Liu. Too far for him, and Truth Bombs start once again. Number 39, Ken McLean with the disc now. Just a little toss over into the middle for Nick Dust. Dust, little forehand. And the long huck down the pitch, just over the head of the intended receiver.
That might have been one where the sun was a factor because it was definitely within Ken's range because Ken is wicked fast. I just don't think he could see it looking back into the sun. It was over his head and he looked to be a little lost trying to find it.
Looked over one shoulder, did Ken McLean, and it ended up going over the other shoulder and he couldn't catch up to it. Here's Brian Perry. Perry along the goal line, dishes that off for Carrie Ann White. White into the middle. Big huck for Brian Perry down the pitch, looking for Carrie Ann White, and it's just too far for her.
I think the wind is playing a lot more of a factor than the sun is right now because everything seems to be tailing off to the right. These are very experienced and very good players, so unless there's some external factor out there, these throws should be more on target than they have been as of late.
Doesn't seem to be, there's a bit of a breeze blowing west to east here on the pitch as McLean goes under that one and is able to corral it. Now he's got 10 seconds. He has to wait for some support. Here's McLean looking into the corner. It's hanging up there, and a great grab there by number 21, Seth Cezanne, and it's 2-1 Truth Bombs.
Nice little bit of float on that, and Seth had plenty of time to run under it, find it. Nice touch by Kenny McLean.
Two 1 Truth Bombs early in this one, about 14 minutes in, and it's more or less like a prize fight, I would think. These two teams don't see each other at all during the regular season, so they come out and in the first 15-20 minutes are more a feeling out process than anything else.
They probably play each other not in this particular, with these particular teams obviously, but they're all pretty much familiar with each other. It seems to me Truth Bombs are just, I'm just saying, getting greedy, but they're taking chances they probably don't need to take this early. If they wanted to just run and work it underneath, they'd probably have more success, but they seem to want to be going for the gusto early.
Cornwall with the pull, and this one is going out as well. So not one of the pulls that we've seen so far in this Tuesday-Thursday championship tilt has stayed within the parameters of the playing field.
There are times when pulling it out of bounds can be a strategic choice because it gives your defense time to get down and set up, especially when you're playing a team that's faster than you. If the pull stays in bounds and they can get running a head start, sometimes it's hard to catch up. So when they have to start from a static start like this, it's easier to mark up and set up your defense.
Heather Wallace goes inside. That was almost picked, and a wide open Alan Godding into the end zone for the goal. It's 2-2.
Truth Bombs went for the poach on that. They came up short, and that left the player wide open, and that was an easy throw.
And a great find there by Chris Kudakevich. He's got a goal and an assist in this one. In on both Instajack markers. So Lance Blackstock will get set. Chris Castonguay has the disc in his hand. Blackstock handled a couple of the first two pulls for Instajack, and now Castonguay will see whether or not he has any success.
Well, let's try and keep it in bounds. I mean, the field's 40 yards wide. It's a pretty big field. Be nice if someone hit it at least once.
Well, long driving guys in golf too have trouble hitting the area, and I think it's about 100 yards wide.
Sometimes.
Here's Castonguay.
The forehand pull. That'll do it.
And he keeps it in play. And back come the Truth Bombs. Little zip inside right through the hands of number 19, Nick Agajanian. And again, it's Brian Perry with a nice soft little pass for Carrie Ann White. Or make that Kaylee Irwin. Here's Catherine Matheson. Moves that back. Perry. And Blackstock looked for somebody to pass to before he had the disc in his hands, and it results in another turnover.
Again, another wasted opportunity by Instajack. These are not forced turnovers. These are just mistakes.
All the way down. Agajanian with a little flip. And into the end zone again. Just shy of the end zone is Nick Dust, and he has to wait. Dust had an open receiver, now forced back. Seth Cezanne. Truth Bombs. Stalling now. Emma Stodel back for Cezanne. Cezanne.
That stall count's got to be getting high.
And there's a great defensive play there by number 14, David Liu, laying out to block that disc and resulting in the turnover. And what looked like was going to be a Truth Bomb lead might go all the way back the other way.
Question is now, are they going to... Oh, there it is. I was going to say, are they going to get greedy or are they going to work themselves up? And
Liu has to wait for the disc to come down, and he grabs it for the goal. So a mistake by Truth Bombs results in a 3-2 Insta-Jack lead.
That's our first break of the game. It was about time it happened. Disc had some float on it, but David had a lot of space on his defender. And he had to wait for it, but there was enough room for him to settle it down.
And these players have the ability that this could very, very quickly turn into a Huck Fest, too.
I think I'd be happy if it turned into a Huck Fest, because Huck Fest is exciting ultimate. That's what the fans come to see. They want run and they want gun. And it shows the best parts of our sport when we highlight the athleticism that these players have. And now the Insta-Jack is going to be pulling with the wind at their back, so you're probably going to see a much deeper, much longer pull that ideally will land in the end zone and force Truth Bombs to work the full length of the field.
20-yard end zones. 70 yards is the length of the actual playing field between the goal lines. And everything's so beautifully marked. And yes, the grass might be a little long, but perfect for the kind of player that likes to lay out.
Oh, it's soft. It's wonderful out there. Walking around before the game, the grass is in great shape. The ground is nice and soft. It's perfect conditions to play.
High pass, grabbed down by Colin James. Or make that J.F. LaPointe. Colin James wearing number 49. There's big Aaron Byrne back into the game after getting shaken up a little earlier. And now the Truth Bombs start to work the disc across the field. Number 43, Keith Bourdon, moves that up for J.F. LaPointe. Jean-Francois Lapointe for Aaron Byrne. Byrne on the cusp of the goal line now are the Truth Bombs looking to tie it up. They come back. Little flip to the goal line. Now they look for the open player. And it's good. Number 65, Natalie Lapointe with the point. And it's 3-3.
That was a good bounce back point for Truth Bombs. No turnovers, solid play, excellent choices. Good break back. You don't want to get down too deep to a team like Insta-Jack.
So Natalie Lapointe brought in for her offensive abilities, most notably her speed, because this game is a combination of three sports. You need the fitness level of a soccer player, you need the pivoting ability of a basketball player, and you have to have the breakaway ability of a football player.
It is the best of all three of those sports. Lots of running, lots of jumping. Throw, run, catch.
There's Brent Cornwallier getting set. No real shakeups in this one so far. A 3-3 draw in the early going in this opening half of the 2018 Godzilla Ultimate Championships from the Terry Fox Athletic Facility here in the nation's capital. Dan Mooney alongside Glenn Ford and our entire Rogers TV crew. So happy to have you along for the ride. Alan Godding, he's got a goal in this one. Godding moves that one up. Heather Wallace for number 96, Kaylee Irwin. Irwin going into the end zone, coming down with it. Just outside. And there's the little flip inside. And it's David Liu once again from Brian Perry, and it's 4-3 Insta-Jack.
Very nice, very efficient point by Insta-Jack on that. Good come down with that high one by Brian Perry. Sets himself. Quick little toss. Oh, wow. That was a lot closer than it looked from back up here.
Nick Dust almost got a hand on that one to knock it away.
Just about.
So 4-3 Insta-Jack now, the Tuesday champions in the Ottawa Carleton Ultimate Association Leagues, and really impressed with the level of play so far.
It's been pretty good. I think both teams had a little bit of, I'm not going to say jitters, but maybe adjusting the conditions, adjusting to the field conditions, but they've settled down and we're seeing a lot less turnovers now.
This facility in absolutely immaculate shape after hosting the Canadian National Track and Field Championships just a couple of weeks ago. This pull stays in play. Bounces right to Cornwallis, and he starts up for Truth Bomb. Little flip out for Keith Bourdon. Bourdon moves that up for Emma Stodel. Bourdon all the way around for Cornwallis as they try to spread out the Instajack defense.
Instajack has gone to his zone defense, saying, we're going to make you make 70 passes. We'll give you a 1-yard pass, but you have to do it 70 times. And as we just saw, Truth Bombs did not do it.
Little flip inside. Nice grab there by Laura Rakoski out there for the first time, and another turnover here. And the Truth Bombs don't do much with it.
No, they gave it right back on a bit of a miscommunication. There was going to be a little flip up the sideline to the cutting handler, and unfortunately, you either wasn't seeing it or couldn't get there in time.
Underway once again. Laura Rakoski. Little flip over the top. Nice catch by Castonguay. Castonguay moves that inside. Andrew Spearin with the disc now. Dust all over him into the end zone for Blackstock. And it's now 5-3 for Instajack. The first 2-point lead of this championship.
That was another break again by Instajack. I wasn't exactly sure how Truth Bombs ended up giving it back, but nice little grab by Lance, and now Truth Bombs has found themselves in a position they don't want to be in, which is having to play catch-up to these guys.
And they've had it's not as if they haven't had their opportunities, they just haven't taken advantage of them.
No, both teams, as I said, there hasn't been a lot of defense going on. There's just been a lot of miscommunication, a lot of drops.
Everybody almost set to get underway. I believe it's Emma Stodel at the other end with a shoe adjustment. No, it's number 65, Natalie Lapointe, who scored 1 goal. Now her shoe situation has been remedied, and we are just about set to get underway once again. 5-3, Instajack in Burgundy, leading the Truth Bombs in lime green.
It's a very short pull. Now that they're going back upwind, noticing the difference in the pulls. And when teams are pulling from the other side, the pulls are going the full 70 yards, 80 yards into the end zone. Now they're lucky if they're getting 60.
And a huck downfield. And nice come down with it by Seth Cezanne into the end zone for the point. And Ken McLean adds to his point total and gets the Truth Bombs back within a single point.
Nice read on that huck by Seth. That was up and it was floating, and the D was right on him. He did a good job bringing that down and waited for the nice open throw to Kenny Mack, who at 50-plus years old still gets open at will.
I'm not sure he wanted you to say that.
Oh, Kenny's proud of it.
Yeah, still out here with the kids.
Oh, he's fast. He is fast.
So Brent Cornwallis gets set to get things underway once again. We'll go to 8 for this opening half, and it's 5-4 for Instajack, the Tuesday champions, against the Thursday champions, Brent Cornwallis and the Truth Bombs. Cornwallis' pull goes out of bounds once again. So good field position, or at least a good start outside the shadow of their own goal line once again for Instajack.
Maybe Carl's a bit rusty. Carl's a member of the Canadian Navy and has recently been reposted back to Ottawa after serving on the Winnipeg and the Regina ships in our Navy, so maybe he didn't get a lot of chance to throw a lot of frisbees out there, but it's good to have him back in town with the old group again.
Instajack David Liu, he's got a couple of goals in this one. Flips that out for Kadakovic. Back for Liu. Liu stays in bounds, looking into the end zone. The catch is made, the feet are down, and the goal is good. Number 94, Catherine Matheson, on a great feed from David Liu, and it's now 6-4 Instajack.
Catherine did a great job towing the line on that, finding the disc, looking back into the sun, finding the line on the field, and then grabbing it and sticking her first point of contact inbounds.
So Instajack now with their second 2-goal lead. Everybody pretty casual. Lance Blackstock looks like he's having a really good time out there.
If you've ever met anybody that just loves to play Frisbee, it is Lance Blackstock. He plays as often. He would play 8 days a week if he could.
Former member of the Ottawa Outlaws.
He is.
And, you know, you got to have game if you're going to play at that level.
You definitely have to have game. You have to have everything. Athleticism, speed, and just drive. Beyond natural talent, you have to have the drive to want to compete with people that talented.
Blackstock's pull goes, it stays in.
Not very far, not very deep, but it stays inbounds.
Here come the truth bombs. Nice little flip in there, looking deep. Is it Agajanian? Here's McLean. McLean finding Natalie Lapointe. Lapointe being marked closely. Little flip up and a nice grab by Aaron Byrne. First of all, to put it in a position where he could make the catch, and then actually coming down with it. And
call has been made. Something was called, possibly a foul on the thrower. Haven't seen a signal from the observers yet. Yeah, that's what I think has happened. The marker called a foul when Aaron stepped around to try and throw.
Conference now. Jim Robinson and Al Colantonio, the observers for this one. They seem to have got things straightened out, and
disc is going to stay where it is.
Little flip inside, and there's a battle for it. Heather Wallace got in the way of number 65, Natalie Lapointe, and Lapointe called the foul, and now the discussion ensues.
It looked like Lapointe may have had the disc first, and then the defense came through to knock it out. They're going to try and sort it out themselves. Observers are just going to check to make sure that they both saw the same thing if they are asked for their opinion on the play.
Here's the replay, and there's the joust. They
went to the observer for the decision. The observers had ruled that it was a foul. Offense is going to retain possession.
Truth bombs down by 2. Looking into the end zone, that toss just too high over the head of Kenny McLean. Lance Blackstock right there defensively, so it would have been a great catch had McLean been able to come down with it because of Blackstone's really tight coverage.
It would have been an interesting play. If the disc was a bit more catchable, it would have been interesting to see whether or not Lance could have gotten over Kenny, who's going to be really good at positioning himself to shield the disc from the defense.
Hard pass in for Brian Perry. Perry 10 yards out. Heather Wallace. Wallace goes down, and she looks like she might have hurt a knee or something, but she's back up again, calling a foul against the truth bombs. And now the observers, are they going to get involved again?
I don't think they need to. If it was a defensive foul, the disc was caught, so it's going to be play on. It's just a matter of whether or not her shoe got loose because it got stepped on or something like that. But it doesn't appear the disc is going to be going back.
Back come Instajack. All the way around the horn, Godding with it. Down the field. They stay with it. Up for Blackstock. Blackstock now trying to find an open player. He does indeed. He finds Kudikevich. Kudikevich back out. Perry moves that. Nice pass in for Blackstock. Blackstock almost at the goal line, and the throw is low. Boy, he'd love to have that one back. Pull the string and give me that one back, and Blackstock knew that he'd made an error immediately.
They were showing great patience up to that point, just resetting and an early stall count to keep the disc moving, keep the defense running, and that's a throw Lance can make. He just didn't make it that time.
There's the throw. Just a little bit too low on that release point. And the Truth Bombs now get a bit of a reprieve inside their own end zone, and there's another turnover. So Instajack could start to pull away here. Blackstock with the disc, couple of yards out. Blackstock forced back. Here's Perry. Perry flips that one out. Heather Wallace.
It's interesting that Truth Bombs are still sticking with the force backhand. As a general rule of thumb, it's a little easier to break at the force with a forehand, but it does take away a certain set of throws, so we'll see if it ends up paying off for them. They did get it back.
And better field position. They were inside their own end zone, and now they're about 12 or 13 yards out. And the long huck from McLean can't come down with it. So Kenny McLean just beyond his outstretched fingers.
If you can overthrow Kenny, you have definitely overthrown it.
Perry for Blackstock. Blackstock for Kudikevich. Kudikevich sends that one down low, and having to go up high for it, it's Alan Godding. Alan Godding moves that one and into the end zone. It's number 86, Carrie Ann White. And it's another point for Instajack, and they're starting to pull away now, leading 7-4.
That was a quick turn of events, a couple of long passes up the sideline, and it's pretty much a jailbreak. Lance with the nice feathery backhand to the wide open Carrie Ann White.
No celebration. Marv Levy would be proud.
Act like you've been there.
And act like you're going to go there again.
I haven't heard that one, yes. Looks like somebody's called timeout, most likely Truth Bombs. You get 2 per half. You don't get your money back if you save them, so you might as well use them while you can.
Yeah.
They need to get themselves together and get on a mini run before this half starts, because they don't want to be starting half down again, because they're going to be starting second half on defense as well.
Reza Mashi wearing number 29 in your picture. He's the coach. He said, I'm not going to get on the field very much, but I'm here more to support these crazy kids. Well, it looks like they've their body language would indicate that they still believe that they're in this.
Oh, they are still in this. There's no doubt about it. Instajack is giving them opportunities to capitalize, but they're just not doing it. Everybody on this team's experienced. Everybody on this team has played a lot of big games before, so pressure is not an issue. Right now, the issue is execution.
Sun getting low in the sky, and you can see there, that's what the players are looking at.
They're basically looking at silhouettes 70 yards away from them. Those are long shadows in front of them.
Heather Wallace trying to lead the cheers is Chris Castonguay. Gets set to get things underway once again. We've played a little over 38 minutes. Or 37 minutes here in this opening half, and the catch made by Emma Stodel.
Look at the length of that pull. Right in the middle of the end zone, right in the middle of the field.
Seth Cezanne for Stodel for Colin James.
Instajack is back into his zone defense again, willing to cede a lot of little small short yardage passes, but forcing Truth Bombs to make a lot of them, which so far they've proven they're not capable of doing.
Colin James, long pass, great D, a little low, looking for Nick Dust downfield, and David Liu there defensively for Instajack. And another bad toss, and now Truth Bombs get an opportunity. Picked up by Brent Cornwallier. Cornwallier looking for Dust in the end zone. Can he get under it?
20 seconds.
No. Just missed it. It's difficult for us to see in the sun as well, as Dust spun around trying to find the disc in the air and just unable to.
Well, Brett Cornwallier is a left-handed thrower, so throwing a left-handed hammer like that is not coming in the way you're traditionally used to it coming in, and that might have what caused them a little bit of trouble finding it.
Instajack. Out of their own end zone, Liu moves that to Castonguay. Castonguay looking downfield. Lovely floater into the hands of Chris Kudakevich. And it's 8-4. And we've reached halftime. What a bomb. David Liu to Kudakevich. What a play.
That was a sweet, sweet throw. That throw I don't think was intended for him, but KK ran that down when he realized that the intended receiver probably was not going to get there in time.
We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with the second half here at the Terry Fox Athletic Facility. You're watching the 2018 Ottawa Carleton Ultimate Association Championships. It's the Godzilla on Rogers TV.
Gabriel Pizza, proud supporter of local sports. Gabriel Pizza, home of the bigger, better pizza. 310-7777 or GabrielPizza.com.
I'm Barbara Balfour, host of Ottawa Experts. Join us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. when we bring in local experts to answer your questions right here on Rogers TV. I'm Barbara Balfour, host of Ottawa Experts.
Gray skies have fallen upon the Terry Fox Athletic Facility as the Instajack Tuesday champions in the Ottawa Carleton Ultimate Association lead the Truth Bombs in the Tuesday-Thursday Godzilla final by a score of 8-4 at halftime. Dan Mooney alongside Glenn Ford for this one. And Glenn, a good first half. As you can see, the Truth Bombs get on the board first with a nice little toss to Nick Dust. But that's about all they had to celebrate in that opening half.
They had their opportunities, but they squandered chance after chance on what were very makeable plays. You can necessarily fault the decisions, but the execution has certainly been lacking for them in the first half.
There's a nice play and a great grab. Brian Perry going up at the goal line and then catching David Liu coming across. Lance Blackstock with another beautiful point. And there's Kenny McLean, the ageless wonder, getting one as well.
That I'm sure he'll be happy about. That's the point that took half. I'm almost positive that disc was thrown for Catherine Matheson, and KK just ran and made sure that the point was going to get caught.
Chris Kudakevich is the KK that Glenn just referred to, as you see Instajack. And they don't look like the type of people, especially that guy, Lance Blackstock, to sit on their laurels. Yes, they got a 4-point lead right now, but they're not going to really rest on that, are they?
I would hope not. I'm a big believer that the first 2 points after half are some of the most important points of the game. If you get those first 2 points, and especially in this situation, to push the score to 10-4, Truth Bombs, they have a big uphill climb. However, if Truth Bombs gets those first 2 and brings it to 8-6, all of a sudden it becomes a game again. First 2 points are so important after half.
And with that cloud cover and the sun, the setting sun behind that cloud cover, certainly gives you a much different perspective here on the light at the main pitch here at the Terry Fox Athletic Facility at Mooney's Bay.
There is nothing like playing under the lights. I love playing under the lights, especially this time of year. The conditions are absolutely perfect. And it's just something magical about playing at night. Must be what the Cubs felt like when they first got lights at Wrigley.
In the 80s, I remember that vividly.
88, I believe, wasn't it?
I'm thinking, in that area. Brent Cornwallier with the opening pull, and this one stays in bounds. So maybe the sun did have something to do with that. Here's Blackstock.
If not the sun, the wind. But you'll notice now that Instajack is up and they're running. It's not a matter of everybody setting up and starting everything from a standstill. Their offense is already flowing and people are moving. It makes it a lot harder to play D. Here's a jump ball
with the long huck, and Blackstock comes down with it. Between two defenders, able to make the grab. It's 9-4 Instajack.
That is exactly what Instajack wanted to happen on this point, and that's exactly what Truth Bombs hoped would not happen.
Lance Blackstock with his second of the game. Look at that, between two defenders, and Nick Dust was going to go up for it, came down and had his hands up, just basically saying, don't call a foul on me.
There was that. There's one of his own players in between him and the disc as well, and he didn't want to run over Heather Kelly, HK, who was also there trying to make a play on the disc. And I mean, as hard as we play this game, it's only Frisbee. It's not worth getting hurt over. And if he didn't think he had a smart play or a safe play, he was right to not try and make one at all.
So Blackstock gets a rest on the Instajack sideline. And Chris Castonguay, who has occupied the same seat you're sitting in right now for us in the past for Ultimate Contests, is getting ready for the return pull after goal that gave Instajack a 5-goal advantage as Castonguay with the forehand keeps it in play, and it's the Truth Bomb starting out. Nice little pass inside. Little flip for the big guy, Aaron Byrne. Great handler. Byrne just tosses that one up and finds a mate. There's a throw into the end zone. An errant throw results in a turnover. Spearin moves that up for Heather Wallace. For Matheson. Matheson right side for Godding. Godding looking deep, looking for Castonguay. Can't catch up to it.
That was not the greatest throw. If that's the throw he wanted to make, I got to think that was a bad choice. I think the CC was probably open, but that just was not a good throw.
Truth Bombs. Chantel Cairns. Flip up for Keith Bourdon, looking downfield. Nice joust and a great D there by Laura Rakoski to knock it out of the hands of, I believe, Jen Stickley. Wallace gets the disc back. Moves that out for Rakoski. Laura Rakoski. Little flip up, back for Wallace. Wallace looking deep for Godding. He's got it. David Liu now wide open in the end zone. They got to get him the disc, and Liu's got the hat trick.
I think now we're starting to see the young legs of, oh, there's a call way, way back. This one might be coming back.
Right in the area where Heather Wallace is standing, and I'm not sure. I think that might be Emma Stodel.
That does look like it's Emma. I'm willing to say either Emma might have rolled her ankle rolling to make a play, or because that was a backhand huck, there might have been contact with Heather's throwing arm when that disc was made. Or sorry, when that disc was thrown.
Here's another look.
Yeah, that's a backhand right to the face. So whether or not there's a call on this, I don't know. But when the handler threw that, the defender took it right on the chin.
You can see Heather Wallace in the back. As soon as she let it go and Stodel was down, Heather Wallace was saying, okay, back here, boys and girls. There you see Wallace on the right side of your picture.
Well, they're going to talk about whether or not the foul actually affected the play. If it was on the follow-through, probably not a foul, and the disc will probably stay where it was caught by Alan Godding. But if Emma is going to call a foul on that throw, it might come back. And Emma has left the game, and Heather Kelly has stepped in to replace her. Right here, right on the side of the head.
Ouch.
Yep.
And that's full extension, too.
That's full extension. It looked to be on the follow-through. However, it does appear that they're going to bring the disc back.
So that goal will not stand. The score remains 9-4. As observer Jim Robinson.
They are going to direct all the players to come back to where they were when the throw went up, basically. So everybody's got to come way back, and they're just going to pretend that this play never happened and start over again.
The white dot that you see in the middle of the pitch is the brick. That's 20 yards out from the end zone. Instajack very deep in their own territory, and that long huck by Wallace was able to get them out of their own zone. Godding made the catch, and then he found David Liu in the end zone, but it all came back due to the fact that Emma Stodel was hit full extension on the side of the head as Wallace released that disc, and now Instajack starts from static. Here's Godding. Godding inside for Rakoski. Rakoski for Liu. David Liu. Flips that around. Castonguay back into the middle for Godding. Is nice cycling going on as that one picked off, and a bad pass results in another turnover, and back come the Truth Bombs. And there's another drop directly in front of Rakoski. The drop by number 65, Natalie Lapointe. Usually sure-handed. Castonguay into the end zone, and Rakoski comes down with it. It's 10-4.
And Instajack got what they wanted, those first 2 points after half, making it 10-4. It is tough to sit there on the wrong end of a 10-4 game and convince yourself, yeah, we're still in this. Yes, we've still got this. But that's what Truth Bombs are going to have to dig deep and find out.
Castonguay with his second assist makes it 10-4, 2-0 here in the halftime. After halftime, as Instajack in Burgundy led at the break by a score of 8-4, and truth be told, if we're throwing truth bombs,
if we are, glad you said it.
Second half they've come out a little flat.
They have come out flat, and again, it's been the recurring theme for them. They've had opportunities, they've had choices, they've had chances, drops, throwaways, and now they've got a very steep uphill climb to get themselves back into this.
Waiting for the after point pull. Brian Perry keeps it in play, and it rolls right to Cornwallis. Cornwallis for number 19, Nick Agajanian, all the way to the far side. Back in, and a hard pass inside for number 35, Heather Kelly. Just too hot for her to handle.
Again, the Instajack Zone D gets the turnover.
Nice pass inside. Carrie-Ann White. Forced back. Here's Perry. Perry for Blackstock. Blackstock, the return feed for Perry. He's got to stop and wait now. Back into the end zone. Nice catch there by KK, Chris Kudakevitz. His second goal of the game, and this one is getting away from the Truth Bombs. It's 11-4, and have Instajack taken their foot off the gas pedal? I don't think so.
I don't think they have either. They're going to, unless Truth Bombs show something very quick, they're going to run away with it. If they haven't already, they're going to run away with it.
11-4, and this was a very, very close game at the early stages.
They were trading points at the beginning. There were a couple of holds. They wouldn't get a break until the 4th or 5th point. But I don't know whether or not it's the tired legs or the young kids versus the old school, but the young kids are running away with it at this point.
Yes, you build this at the outset as the old guard versus the new guard, and the new guard certainly taking it to the old guard. There's a lot to be said for experience, but young legs do make a huge difference.
It is hard. You can't really teach fast. You can't teach young. You can't teach tall. The observers are being very lenient with the offsides on the pulls, which is nice because there's not really gaining anybody an advantage of it, but both teams are definitely offside when they're pulling.
Colin Spencer James flips that one out for Seth Cezanne. Here's Brent Cornwallier.
Emma Stodel's back in the game now.
She has the disc now, flips that out to the side. Colin Spencer James forced back to Stodel. Good to see her back into this one. Flips that out for Kelly. Kelly for Cornwallier. Cornwallier now. Trying to find an open player. Force back, Stodel. Stodel back inside. Kelly. Kelly flips that one out for Cezanne. Looking deep.
Nice D by Rakoski. She read that perfectly.
And again, like you so beautifully put earlier, Glenn, Instajack going into a zone defense, and they're going to give the Truth Bombs all the little passes they want. All the way down, here's David Liu in the end zone. 12-4. Liu now can say, I got a hat trick in the championship.
He certainly can. It's a feather in his cap. He's playing extraordinarily well. I believe he's got an assist or two in there as well. He's a real force in this game.
David Liu, and great presence of mind, too. You see the way he looked to see whether he was on the field, how close he was to the goal line, got beyond the goal line before he made the catch.
When the disc is going long like that and it's got a bit of float on it and you've found the disc, you have a second or two to look down, see where you are on the field, and then you can make your adjustments to try and get yourself into the end zone. Nice throw, nice adjustment, nice read, nice point.
So Blackstock out there, but it looks as if Heather Wallace is going to be handling this pull, after point pull for Instajack, the Tuesday OCUA champions going up against the Thursday champions. That's tradition here at Godzilla. The 2018 Godzilla Ultimate Championships for the Ottawa Carleton Ultimate Association. Dan Mooney, Glenn Ford, and our entire Rogers TV crew. So pleased to have you along for the ride. Little flip downfield for Dust. Dust moves that one across and into the end zone. Little quick hit looking for McLean, and it's picked off there by Chris Kudakovitz.
I like the idea of it, but that was just not a great throw. You have to know that KK is going to be tracking that down, and it's exactly what happened.
Kudakovitz there, and there's the flip, trying to flip it out and then back into the field of play for Brian Perry, who's Andrew Spearin. Nice idea, just didn't execute that one right.
That's one of the few mistakes that you can say Instajack has made. It was the right choice. The player was open. It's a very makeable throw. He just didn't. This one didn't particularly work out, but that's probably a throw that should be made. It's one of the few errors you can say Instajack has made this game.
There's the pick.
You notice the angle of the throw on that pick brought the disc cutting towards the defender instead of away from the defender. If it had occurred the other way, it might have actually been completed.
Back to the far side. Inside their own end zone. Here's Stodel. Stodel back into the middle. Nice play there, and a great grab there by Aaron Byrne on the high pass. Byrne goes back for Stodel.
They've got to keep swinging that disc.
No, not great D there by Carrie Ann White. Or make that Kaylee Irwin, excuse me. Irwin now looking to keep her feet in bounds and leap for the disc, but just unable to come down with it. So another turnover by Instajack, leading 12-4. They've got this one in hand right now. But what do the Truth Bombs need to do? They need a couple of quick scores to get back in this one, but how do they do that?
Well, they do need to, first and foremost, maintain possession and stop making bad choices. They do need to start stretching it out a little bit, but right there, Emma, that's it. Emma needs to continue it across the field instead of throwing it back into the teeth of the defense. Just keep it moving. Eventually, that cup is going to get tired, and then their gaps are going to open up.
Here's Byrne, Aaron Byrne. Cornwallis on the sidelines. Byrne flips that one up for Kenny McLean.
That's it. It gets dumped back now. She's got to swing it across.
Not quick enough. McLean now for Byrne. Byrne looking for the quick hit. He had Dust moving. Here's McLean. Has Dust. Nice defense there by Andrew Spearin. Back the other way.
And now it's just basically a jailbreak. They're just running. Oh, travel was called. Travel was called on Lance. I think that was a pretty decent call.
So that'll come back. Jim Robinson, the observer, right there to make the call.
They're setting up deep right now. Andrew Spearin on Instajack has 3 green defenders covering him, leaving 2 people on the short side very open.
And that's exactly where Blackstock goes. Kaylee Irwin. Irwin for Spearin. Spearin has Blackstock. Can't get it.
That's a bit of a surprise. Lance gets fingers on it. Usually it's as good as done, but he's going to strut back to the line knowing he'll get another chance, but that should have been probably a point. Big smile on Lance's face. He knows.
Geez, nobody's having a better time than Lance Blackstock.
If the Frisbee is involved, nobody has more fun than Lance. Instajack has switched back to a man defense, person-to-person defense. They've abandoned the zone for now.
There's Nick Dust. Goes back for Stodel. Stodel look as Chantel Cairns. Cairns in trouble. Dust back inside his own end zone for Cairns. Cairns has Stodel with her and elects to go up the right side. Picked off by Blackstock.
You could see how tired. Oh, a foul was called on that. That was not a great throw. The defense was waiting for it, but you can see now that this has been quite a long point, and the legs on Truth Bombs are becoming a little heavy, and they didn't have anybody open upfield, so they had to keep resetting back and back and back, working themselves all the way back into their end zone.
Not in a good position here as the discussion ensues, and Truth Bombs get the disc back. Cairns for Stodel. Stodel about 5 yards deep inside her own end zone. Stodel, nice toss outside for Agajanian. Agajanian in tough, forced back. Stodel 2 yards out of the goal line. Bad pass. Great pressure defense by Instajack. Results in the turnover.
There she is.
There's the hammer into the arms of Kaylee Irwin, and it's 13-4. Instajack 2 points away from a Godzilla championship.
Nice patience, nice vision by Heather. Waited to see something that she liked, and then Kaylee Irwin just pulled away. The end of a long point. Once you get beat by a step or two, it's hard to turn on the Jets and chase them down. I'm not going to say the game is over at this point, but between you and I don't like the odds.
Well, you've been around this game for a long time now, Glenn Ford.
Very long time.
What are some of the changes you've seen from the outset of this game in the mid-'80s? It started in the nation's capital, and it's grown into something that's just nobody could have predicted.
I agree with you there. The growth and the expansion and the improvement has been incredible. And the biggest changes, I guess, I've noticed over the 28 years I've been playing, first and foremost is the athleticism involved. Second is basically the throwing techniques and the defensive techniques have all drastically improved. And in the strategy, everything has evolved. People who started this game, if they looked at it now, wouldn't recognize this as the game that they invented.
Nice pull by Blackstock. Lands in play. Short pull, which will give the Truth Bombs some pretty decent field position as Seth Cezanne starts away. Moves it in for Cornwallis. For number 43, Keith Bourdon. Moves it up, Bourdon. And laying out for it there, Brent Cornwallis. Just unable to come up with it.
Yeah, Pete Richardson,
sorry.
Yeah, Pete made a good bit. I'm not sure that disc was for him either. There was a woman in the vicinity, and I think it might have been for her, but did a good job to do what he could with it. But again, there we go. Another turnover by Insta-Jack, and we'll see whether or not Bombs can actually capitalize this time.
Cezanne has the disc in tough. Moves that back for Richardson. Richardson's bad pass gives Insta-Jack another goal, and that's David Liu with his 4th of the game. And now Insta-Jack just 1 goal away from a 2018 Godzilla championship.
It was a wide open pass. David Liu's he's getting open at will at this point. There's not anybody on Bombs that is going to be able to run with him.
Heather Wallace with her 2nd helper on David Liu's 4th goal to go along with his 2 assists. That's 6 points. He's got to garner some consideration as your player of the game here in the Tuesday-Thursday Godzilla Championship.
He's certainly playing like he deserves it. That is for sure. He's pretty much been uncoverable on offense. He's made a couple nice plays on D, a couple of assists. He's had a solid all-around game.
So 14-4 now. Truth Bombs shut out here in the second half.
I didn't want to jinx it, but you brought it up. So yeah, that's a goose egg in the second half, and there's nothing worse than getting skunked, getting bageled in a half. Nothing is worse than that, especially to close out the game. And now here's Insta-Jack back in their pressure zone, daring Truth Bombs to make 70 passes.
Byrne moves it up for Jen Stickley. James all the way across for Stodel. Emma Stodel forced back. Again, good pressure zone defense by Insta-Jack, trying to close this out. Here's Dust. Nick Dust. Stodel all the way across. James to the outside for Byrne, for Ken McLean. Back to Byrne. Short passes. Insta-Jack giving them those all day.
This is the sort of offense that Truth Bombs should have been running earlier in the game. Just running the young kids down until eventually somebody gets open. And sure enough, we bring it up, and there they go. The bagel is gone.
Jen Stickley with the point. And maybe it was appropriate that we broke the jinx that allowed Stickley just to find the corner, and that more relief on her face than anything else after scoring that one.
There's a little bit of relief there, but there's also a little bit of, yes, we got the point, we didn't get bageled, but it's 14-5 now instead of slashing the lead to 14-5. But that was very, very good zone offense by Truth Bombs. It's what they should have been playing earlier. They kept the disc moving sideline to sideline, forcing the defense to chase them the full width of the field. Doesn't matter how fast you are, you're not going to be faster than the Frisbee.
Yeah, that was a great drive.
It was a great possession. If they'd have done that a lot earlier in the game, they might have been able to rack up a couple more points and force Insta-Jack out of that comfy zone D.
There's Brent Cornwallis, number 51. Awaiting the signal to get things underway once again here at the main pitch here at the Terry Fox Athletic Facility at Mooney's Bay. Disc comes down directly in front of Heather Wallace. Wallace for Lance Blackstock. Blackstock looks one way, goes back to the backhand, flips it out for Wallace. Wallace inside. Nice movement upfield for Matheson. Matheson back to Blackstock, looking for the big one. They're looking for David Liu. He's got it! David Liu comes down with it. This one is over.
That was, wow. Oh, David. I want to say great catch, but that's going to reward him for not catching it the first time.
So David Liu, with his 5th goal of the game, wins it for Instajack, and they are the Tuesday-Thursday 2018 Godzilla Ultimate Champions.
Little bit of a bobble on the initial touch, but kept his composure. Just grabbed it before it was even down past his shoulder.
And the traditional handshake afterwards, and there'll be lots of smiles among the cold beverages that will be consumed after this one, most notably, and a lot of A535 on the Truth Bomb side.
Well, I'm not going to get into that, perhaps, but it's a little ageist, perchance. But they're going to definitely they'll be a little sore and they'll be a little tired. But I think they're going to be more than anything, they're going to be disappointed with what happened tonight, because they're a much better team than this. And it was just mental errors that really took it away from them. They just keep shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, a lot of mental errors. But you know what? When you're pressed for time, when you're getting very close to 10 seconds on that stall count, you got to get rid of it. And if the defense is doing such a great job that you have nowhere to go, there isn't much you can do.
No, there is that for sure. And I'm not going to say that they were tired, but as some of the longer points went on, their legs get heavy, their lungs get little thin, and you're not processing things as quick, and mistakes happen when you're tired. And when you're playing against a team that can run and run and run, that's what's going to happen sometimes.
David Liu led the way, 5 goals and 2 assists, 7 points, leading Instajack to a 2018 Godzilla Ultimate Championship, the Tuesday-Thursday version, 15-5 over Truth Bombs. For Glenn Ford and our entire Rogers TV crew, I'm Dan Mooney. Thank you so much for the company. We'll see you next time. So long from the Terry Fox Athletic Facility at Mooney's Bay.